Tennessee and Florida here on ESPN. And welcome to the beautiful O'Connell Center, built 6 years ago to house the Florida Gators. And they host tonight the Tennessee Volunteers in the Southeastern Conference game. A look at the standings of the conference. Kentucky, which defeated Auburn last night, is atop, 1 game ahead of Alabama in the loss column. Auburn is 3rd. Florida, home tonight, is 4th. Georgia is 5th. Looking down, LSU lost this afternoon to Georgia, and like Tennessee, they are 4 and 5. Vanderbilt, Mississippi, and Mississippi State complete the top 10 of the standings. And good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Simpson with Dick Vitale. You've just seen the standings. You see that Florida and Tennessee are right down in the middle, and yet Dick Vitale tells me that this is a pivotal game. And I ask you, explain yourself.
Jim, it's really a pivotal game from this standpoint. If either team has the so-called desire to get to that NCAA dream of the Final 64 and play for the championship, they must finish in the first division. And right now, you look at this game, Tennessee has to prove that they can win away from home.
They have lost 9 consecutive Southeastern Conference games on the road. But now let's talk personnel. Tennessee, start backcourt, Tony White, number 11.
You know, across America, we hear about the Pearl Washingtons, the Steve Alfords, but at Tennessee, they claim that Tony White could be the best. Tony White is a great open court player, Jim. He's got great quickness, range as a shooter. It's almost a given. Put it in your book, and he's going to get 25.
I know everybody's going to say you're giving a pop to a kind of candy. I'm not. I'm talking about 2 men that play for Florida, M and M.
We hear about the great backcourts in America. I've rated all the backcourts. I've said Dawkins and Amaker are number 1. At the University of Florida, all of their students say, Vitale, forget about it. It is Moulton and Maxwell, an M&M machine. Jim, I can't wait to see this dynamic duo. I hear they are electricity.
Florida defeated Tennessee at Tennessee in overtime earlier this year, and Moulton and Maxwell had 50 points between them and 14 rebounds between them playing the backcourt. Florida and Tennessee when we come back. ESPN's college basketball is being brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. Now you're looking around the O'Connell Center, a delightful day in Gainesville, and the Florida Gators would like to cap it off tonight with a win over Tennessee. As we said, they have defeated them once already, earlier in January, in overtime at Tennessee. Now Tennessee must turn it around and try to return the favor, but as Dick and I were commenting, the Volunteers simply cannot win on the road, or have not been able to. So I'll ask Dick Vitale, for Florida to win tonight, for Tennessee to win tonight, what must happen?
Florida, Jim, as we see here, I really believe they got to force Tennessee into a lot of turnovers, 18 at least, with their great quickness in their backcourt, and utilize their quickness for conversion on the offensive end. They must shut down the inside game. They can't allow kids like Rob Jones and also Dyron to get off and get some points, because you know Tony White's going to score. On the other side, Tennessee has got to keep the M&M boys under 30. I really believe we got 30 there. I'd say under 35 points, Jim. 30 might be a little bit too small of a number, but they got 50 between them in the first game. And then they got to control the pressure defense of Florida, and that puts a tremendous burden on Tony White, because they lost their other guard, Fred Jenkins, to an injury, and he's out for the season with a fractured foot.
All right, let's go to the public address announcer, Marty Stone, and meet the players.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the O'Connell Center for tonight's Southeastern Conference basketball game between the visiting University of Tennessee Volunteers and the University of Florida Fighting Gators. Now introducing the starting lineup for Tennessee. At forward, a 6'6" junior from Goldsboro, North Carolina, number 20, Anthony Richardson. At forward, a 6'7" freshman from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, number 31, Dyron Nix. At center, a 6'7" senior from Knoxville, Tennessee, number 34, Rob Jones. At guard, a 6'5" freshman from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, number 44, Elvin Brown. And at guard, a 6'2 junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 11, Tony White. The head coach for Tennessee, Don DeVoe. And now for the University of Florida Fighting Gators. At forward, a 6'6 junior from Crestview, number 4, Joe Lawrence. At forward, a 6'4 sophomore from Gainesville, Florida, number 11, Vernon Maxwell. At center, a 6'7 sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, number 21, Kenny McClary. At guard, a 6-foot sophomore from Jacksonville, wearing 00, Ronnie Montgomery. And at guard, a 6-foot junior from Quincy, Florida, number 5, Andrew Moten. And the head coach for the Fighting Gators, Norm Sloan.
We are in the Southeastern Conference for a game in Gainesville. The Gators of Florida, the Volunteers of Tennessee, both 11-7, but things are different in the conference. Back in a moment. For president of what?
I don't know, Jim. President of the Vital household.
Lorraine would have a word to say about that. You don't even make it there.
I know I'm not going to make it down to Memphis State for president. I guarantee you that.
Oh, my. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, Florida will tip it off with Tennessee. Tennessee in the darker uniforms, the orange of Tennessee. Florida in white and orange. And there was some doubt about Kenny McClary starting because of a sprained knee against Mississippi State, but he is in there, and he will jump against Rob Jones of Tennessee. So McClary of Florida against Jones of Tennessee, and the tip goes to Tennessee. And this is that man, Tony White.
Jim, they open up in the zone immediately to try and negate the great one-on-one ability of Tony White. It's a 1-3 zone now after a 2-3 initial setup.
There's White, and he's going to take the shot, and it's no good, and there's a rebound by the freshman, but Dyron Nix is walking with the ball, and it belongs to Florida.
Dyron Nix is an outstanding athlete. Norman Sloan really tried to recruit him, Jim. He's from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and he decided to go play for Don DeVoe and the Volunteers.
Ronnie Montgomery, 00 out of Jacksonville, brings the ball up. There's Andrew Moten. Maxwell off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to Rob Jones, their leading rebounder.
They really try to isolate Maxwell into a lot of one-on-one basketball. He's a tremendous driver and slasher to the goal.
Tony White running his team about against this zone.
Guys like Tony White really hate the zone. They're great one-on-one players, Jim, and this just absolutely suffocates you. It takes away any kind of driving ability.
White's going to take yet another shot, and he'll miss for the second time, and that is a rebound by McClary, the leading rebounder for Florida. Unlike Florida, Tennessee's in the man-to-man. That is Montgomery being tied up over there by White. There's Joe Lawrence, one of the more versatile men. He fit all 5 spots on this Florida team in his career. Montgomery driving.
Tennessee playing their man-to-man defense. Remember, Don DeVoe, a disciple of Bobby Knight, believes in the ball-you-man theory.
First basket goes to Andrew Moten. It's 2-0 Florida.
Moten's really a flashy player. He's got range as a shooter. And there's the full-court pressure, Jim.
Remember, Florida is very quick, but they've let Nix by himself, and Nix puts it off the glass, and the freshman from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, has tied the game.
Good athletic ability by Nix. He came from the same high school that's produced a kid by the name of Marcus Broadnax, who just committed for St. John's University, and he scored 60 in a high school game this year.
Good heavens. Any relation to the Georgetown Broadnax?
No relationship, Jim.
All the way in goes Moten. It's no good. And with yet another rebound is Dyron Nix. That freshman is making his presence felt on the court tonight.
He's got great legs. I love his jumping ability. They're going to have to try to get the ball inside against this zone. Rob Jones becomes a key player on the interior.
2.5 minutes have gone by. It's a 2-2 game. Now the shot from the side is no good, taken by Anthony Richardson, and with the rebound again is Joe Lawrence, the junior out of Crestview.
We'll see his brother. Lawrence played on the same high school team with Tom Hammonds, who I believe definitely is one of the top 3 freshmen in the United States, and they really wanted him to get his teammate here to play at the University of Florida.
Hammonds, of course, going to Georgia Tech, and there's the first foul of the game, and Nix might have been overly eager there.
Don was telling me today, Jim, that he's really been disappointed in the defensive effort of his team. He doesn't believe they've played the typical outstanding team defense that his Tennessee teams have played. Remember, he's had 5 consecutive 20-game winning teams, and he's one of your outstanding bench coaches in the nation.
Moulton and Montgomery in backcourt. Montgomery, he leads the team in assists.
Now they're zoning, Jim. They rotated out of their man-to-man into a zone. It's a 1-3-1 zone. They got a guy running the baseline.
Still lots of time on the shot clock, 23 seconds.
Maxwell's really flashy.
Lawrence from way outside. It is no good. Tipped up, no good. And down with it with the second rebound is Rob Jones, the senior out of Knoxville.
Tennessee trying to control the tempo. It's very important, using a lot of that 45-second clock.
Sluggish game. Nearly 4 minutes have gone by and 4 points have been scored. But it's tough to get inside against those zones. There's Jones way out. Brown hadn't taken a shot. That's his first. In and out. He misses. And it's brought down by Maxwell, and a foul is called.
But, Jim, that's at least the way you want to go. You want to attack the interior. Jones is an excellent passer, and if they can get the ball into his hands, I believe he'll create opportunities for his teammates. As we look at Norm Sloan, 33 years coaching, a fiery guy, won that national championship 1974 with David Thompson.
Foul was on Elvin Brown. Our officials tonight, Joe Forte, Max Chauvin, and Jake Bell.
Man-to-man defense again.
Driving and taking the shot, and there's Maxwell, and it's 4-2, Florida.
Great one-on-one move by Maxwell against Elvin Brown. And here comes the pressure, trying to create quickness on the floor. Wants to create an up-tempo.
White and Moulton, 2 of the better guards of the country. White with the ball now. Moulton came out to meet him and then dropped back into the zone. And now Nix is tied up, loses the ball.
Disappointed me, Jim. I was waiting for a high riser, an explosive move.
And it's 6-2. The shot by White, it is 6-4.
That's what I mean about an open court player, Jim. He's a tremendous open court player, Tony White. If they can stretch the floor and put the ball in his hands, he's dangerous with the rock, Jim. He's an absolute flat-out super in the open court.
The pass was long to Maxwell. He couldn't handle it. And Tennessee got the ball back with a chance to toss.
I got to try to get the ball to the post area, and then we call it the zigzag move, into the post and then into the wings.
Elvin Brown with the high arching shot, hit the top of the glass. Nix follows, and Dyron Nix now has 4 points, and it is a tie game.
Elvin Brown threw up a real brick at that opportunity, but Nix, again, very active. Now you take a look at the man-to-man defense. Pressure on the ball, denying on the wings, fronting on the boxes inside.
Alley-oop possibility, but McClary can't get to it. Here comes Tennessee. This is White.
This is where he's at his best. Stop.
White right there.
That's what I'm
And they
talking
take the lead. 4 points for White, 4 for Nix. It's 8-6 Tennessee.
Jim, he's not your pure point guard. He's a lead guard. He's thinking score all the time, and that's why he leads this conference in scoring. And he's got the great ability to shoot the jump shot off that dribble.
Florida's got 2 men ready to come into the ball game at the first dead ball. That's Maxwell. Lawrence and Montgomery looked like he wanted to take a shot, but does not. And now he does. And it's no good. And there's Rob Jones with the 3rd rebound that we have recorded.
He's really an underrated player. In the last 2 years, he's ranked in the SEC in the top 3, Jim, in 3 different categories: block shots, rebounding, and field goal percentage inside.
Tennessee with the lead and the ball. They lead by 2.
There's the zone defense again. It's a 1-3-1 after the initial 2-3 look.
There's White. Moulton is on him. No harm, no foul. I'm talking about throwing up a brick. There's one thrown up by White.
Jim, notice all his scoring he's done thus far has been in the open transition versus against the 5-on-5 half-court game.
Maxwell. No. Follow McClary. Didn't think he played tonight because of that knee, but there he is. And it's a tie game.
He had a sprained knee in their last outing, but he showed there that the knee does not look like it's bothering him at all.
Whoops, that's a little long to Rob Jones, but with his height at 6'7", he can bring it in. Jones is going to take the shot. It is blocked by McClary and picked up and brought back by Moulton.
Now here's where they're at their best.
Montgomery all the way and drops it in. Blocking also called on the play.
Montgomery's trying to make the most of a starting opportunity, Jim. They moved him in the lineup to go with 3 guards because they have not been getting productivity out of the big people. There's Montgomery, hangs. Oh, I think we got a charge right there, Jim. They called a block on that play.
They called a block on Tony White at that.
I thought he was stationary and was definitely right there to take that charge. This is a beautiful facility. I really like it down here.
Built in 1980, hosts 12,000 people. Here comes another Lawrence into the game. That is Pat Lawrence. And he's replacing his brother, Joe Lawrence.
Hey, Jim, are we allowed to mention this? Both Lawrences came over and said to me, Dick, can you tell my mom and dad we wish them happy anniversary back at Crestview?
Well, I think you can think about it.
Well, can I think about saying it? Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence. You'd be proud of those 2 guys.
3-point play for Ronnie Montgomery. And 11-8 lead. Florida leads at home. Tennessee trying to break the scheme. They haven't won on the road this year.
Do not turn over the basketball, protect it. Most times you're going to win. It's a very simple philosophy, but it's really an accurate way of getting on the winning side.
And Tennessee has won 3 of its last 4 games with many fewer turnovers than have their opponents. So Norm Sloan must go along. Oh, the alley-oop try does not happen because there's a foul called against Clifford. Lett is in there as Rob Jones went up for the ball.
They try to throw the lob, which is a good pass to use against the zone, right over the top. They try to get it to Jones, but Jones gets pushed from behind by Lett.
Inbounded by Tennessee, and the shot taken by that man again, Dyron Nix, at 6 points.
I really like him. He's a good-looking freshman. I liked him at practice today as well.
Question, didn't Norm Sloan recruit him from Florida? He's from over in Fort Walton.
Oh, he tried like heck, but the kid just wanted to go elsewhere. Sometimes it's very difficult to keep the local player.
Andrew Moulton, he's got 4 points.
He's got great quickness, Jim. There's the trapping defense trying to force the turnover. Tennessee does not have a good ball handling team, especially with the loss of Jenkins.
13-10. There's Jones. He's going to take it, and then it's knocked away by McCleary.
McCleary's playing a very forceful game on the inside.
Picked up by Pat Lawrence before it went out of bounds, and now here's Moulton.
They're in a 1-4 offense now.
You just wonder, will we have the kind of game? Here goes Moulton.
Oh, nice pass.
Off, but there's a foul called. If we're going to have the kind of game we had at Baton Rouge between LSU and Kentucky, or at Virginia between Virginia and North Carolina.
Jim, we talked about LSU. Emotionally, trying to win through motivation is great for a 1-game shot, but they were blown away today by Georgia in the second half, and I really feel very, very bad for those kids playing 4 games in 5 days. That's incredible.
The foul was on Moulton, and John Currington is coming in. The score is 13-10, Florida. Tennessee. That's not an enviable record at all. 9 consecutive Southeastern Conference losses on the road dating back to last year. Florida winner at Tennessee in overtime by 2 in a thriller. And there's Maxwell trying to intercept. He does, knocks the ball away to Moulton. Moulton to Maxwell, and look out.
That's the M&M boys. There's their machine. They play well together. Create the turnover, drive, draw, and dish. The 3D man, I call him right now, Andrew Moulton. I love that combo.
Biggest lead of the night. It is 5 points, 15-10. And there's a shot by White, and quickly it is 15-13.
They got to get a hand in his face. You can't give him the open jump shot on a wing, and I'm sure Norm Sloan's got to be disappointed with the wing defense out of that zone.
11 minutes to go. We're in the first half live from Gainesville, Florida. Florida and Tennessee, Southeastern Conference Saturday night game.
Aggressive man-to-man defense.
Got both Lawrences in there now. Pat and Joe. Maxwell throws up something that's not too attractive there, and a whistle blows underneath. Tried to draw the foul and may have been successful.
He's a driving player, Jim. He's got great ability to hang in the air. There he is, twisting and turning. I love his quickness to the goal. He has to work a little bit more on developing a good perimeter jump shot to be a complete scoring guard.
Now you see Clifford Lett has come back in. The foul was on John Currington, the oldest man on the court at 24. He went in the Army, then to junior college, and now is here at Florida. Chance to draw within 1 for Tennessee, playing on the road. And the alley-oop try is knocked away by Lawrence. That is fouled by Rob Jones as he went up for it. The fourth team foul.
They're really trying to jam that lob over the top. And there's the foul right there by Jones. A little pushing. They can't afford to lose him either, Jim. He's a key factor to Tennessee's inside attack.
3-point lead for Florida. They've got the ball.
When you play good man-to-man defense, you like to pressure the basketball, beat cutters to the ball, and you must block out. If you do those three things, Jim, you usually have a good team defensive concept.
Moten got by Nix and puts it in.
I don't think he can stay with the man-to-man, Jim. I think he eventually, Don DeVoe's got to make a decision and show some zone to negate the great one-on-one ability of Maxwell and Moten.
And there, oh my, hanging on the rim, but nothing called there. That is 8 points for Dyron Nix.
That's a tremendous way to break the pressure, get the ball in the middle of the court, attack the pressure, and Nix finishes it off with the scoring slam jam.
17-14. That's let down in the corner. Loose is Lawrence. Lawrence misses, and there's Let, and he misses. Picked up by Lawrence. All of that Lawrence thinks this is Joe, the older of the two.
They don't have really any scoring inside at all. They rely so much on their perimeter.
From behind, reaching over with the foul is Anthony Richardson.
Richardson, a good wing player. Tough defensively, too. As we look him right here in an isolated slot. Look at the quickness now of Moten. They rotate over, they jump to the ball, and then there's Richardson with the foul from the rear.
And Moten goes to the foul line. He's got 6 points. Only 2 players have scored for Tennessee. Tony White has 6 points. Dyron Nix, the freshman, has 8 points, and that's it. Richardson, Jones, and Brown have not scored.
You know, he was a controversial player last year, Andrew Moten. He quit the team at the end of the year, was talking about transferring. He wasn't recruited out of high school. In fact, they recruited him away from the United States Army. He was going to go to the Army. But he matured now, Jim. He had some problems academically. He set them behind him. He just got married. He has a little baby boy now. He's named him Andrew Jr., born on Christmas Eve. That'll help to mature you, huh?
That'll also give you a whale of a Christmas present. That little boy. Checking into the ball game is Mark Griffin for Tennessee, a freshman at 6'8". And Moten makes that. That is 7 points for him.
He's a good free throw shooter, shooting 80% for the year from the free throw line. There's the trap. You want to post someone to the middle. Let's throw it.
White will chase that down and takes the shot. That's where he's good.
Jim, they're throwing it right over the top of the trap. Good decision by Don DeVoe's team right now. Rather than playing with it in the backcourt, just throw the ball over the top of the front wave of the pressure.
Biggest lead has been by Florida. 5 points. Maxwell misses that. Knocked away by Elvin Brown. Collision again, but they say nothing there. Here comes White.
Little Robert Redford acting job.
Oh, there's the foul on Maxwell, who thought he had a clean block, but Tony White shot.
Tony White is really tough at the free throw line. Here he is right now on a wing. There he is operating off the dribble. He's dynamic off that dribble. He got some arm. He got some body as well.
He's also got a percentage from a free throw line of nearly 85%.
Huey Durham really tried to freeze and ice him in the last game against Georgia. He went to the line with 1 second. They were down 1 point, Jim. He got fouled 40 feet from the basket on a no play by a kid by the name of McMillan from Georgia. Went to the line. They called 2 timeouts. He had 6 substitutions. Durham with a great coaching move. And the kid said, hey, Huey, get another timeout, do whatever you want. This is in the bank, and he nailed both of them for a Tennessee win.
The first one, though, was...
Yeah, they demonstrated. They tell us about it.
It is a tie ball game with 8:39 to go in the first half from Gainesville.
Take a look at the man-to-man defense. Always...
Look at getting around. What a picture play. Moten gets the ball in to McClary, and he's got 4 points.
Hey, McClary gets the dunk, but what a great creative play by Moten. That's why I've labeled him the 3D man. He drives, he draws the defensive player to him, and then he delivers the basketball. You can't ask for more out of your point guard.
Now they have Elvin Brown bringing the ball up court. And there's a ball knocked away, and Brown keeps it in play, and there's a fast break to Moten. White covers up, and it's good. Moten knocks it in, and that's 9 points.
That's one of our keys we talked about, Jim. Tennessee cannot turn the ball over and allow Florida to generate offense out of their defense. Norm Sloan really worked him at practice yesterday.
Alley-oop, but it's off the hand of Dyron Nix and out of bounds, and there's yet another turnover. Gators lead by 4, have the basketball. 7:55 to go first half. It is Florida 22 And Tennessee 18, and Don DeVoe is called timeout. I don't know, in your opinion, the best team in the country. We got hundreds of calls about it. We all know now that Memphis State did lose this afternoon, but there are a lot of people out there saying, how dare you, Dick Vitale, to say that Memphis State is not the best in the country.
I really believe they overreacted. I'm sure they love their team, and I don't blame them. They're a quality basketball team, Jim. I've said from day one, I've been voting for Memphis State top 5 all year long. I just don't feel they're the premier team in the land, but they got an outstanding team. And nobody called me when I say all the great things about Memphis State, Jim.
4-point lead for Florida.
Now they came out in the zone. I thought he'd go to the zone, Jim, to negate the great one-on-one ability, and I can't emphasize that enough. Creative players like Moulton love the man-to-man.
Maxwell, in and out, and then again, and Maxwell now has 8 points.
Maxwell really says, hey, zone, man-to-man, it makes no difference. I'm an offensive machine.
That is the biggest lead, 6 points. White cuts it down to 4 as soon as I say that, and White now has 12 points.
Jim, I told you before in the opening, put 25 in the book. The kid really bounces off the floor. He's got explosive legs in shooting that jump shot.
7 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, Jim, put 25 down. Now, don't waste any time.
He may get more than that.
Well, you're right. He's not going to get less. There's the zone now, Jim. Playing the zone defense.
From way outside, Moulton, it goes in and out, and the whistle blows, and let's see. Against whom is it? It's against Florida. The question is which man?
Jim, against quickness, the one thing that happens when you zone, as we take a look right now with the long rebound, these are live rims, and we look at the foul over the top of the back.
It's left.
Number 23, Clifford left.
That's his second.
The one thing the zone does, it forces you almost to become stationary, and it takes away the quickness and driving ability of a guard like Moulton and a guard like Maxwell.
Nix throws it up and in. They brought him out to the high post. He put up a shot that didn't look like it had much of a chance as he took the shot, but once it was in the air, it looked good, and he now has 10 points.
Jack Burdick, the outstanding young assistant of Tennessee, he couldn't utilize enough adjectives to describe that kid, and I'll tell you, he's living up to it. He's quite a homecoming here coming back to Florida.
Gators' lead of 6 has been cut to 2.
There's the zone defense right now. 2-3.
From outside, Maxwell tries again, in and out, and Rob Jones has got yet another rebound.
Notice the last 3 possessions by Florida. We've seen the perimeter wing jump shot. Again, that takes away the strength of the M&M boys.
There's Griffin, who just came in a little while ago, number 33.
He's a good shooter.
From outside, and that's the first basket for Elvin Brown. That's the first basket for any Tennessee player.
Oh, look at that quickness, Jim.
Other than White or Nix.
Hey, that's NBA quickness. Now I know why Jimmy Valvano was drooling. I mean, he was drooling trying to get Vernon Maxwell. There he is in the open court. Great change of direction. Now he protects the basketball, seals off the defensive player, and gets fouled on a play. Valvano had a verbal commitment, and then Mrs. Maxwell stepped in and said, hey, Vernon, you're from Gainesville. I want to see you play. Forget about Valvano's cooking and Valvano's charm. You're playing for Storm and Norman. And you know what? The Mamba won out.
Here's Maxwell. And that is his first free throw, and that is his 9th point. There is Norman Snead, won a championship with David Thompson and company.
And Monty Tao, the guy sitting next to him, was the little guard on that team.
I said Norman Snead. Well, that's a man that played some good football.
This is Doug Roth.
For Wake Forest, but that is Norman Sloan I'm talking about.
Doug Roth just came on the floor, Jim. He was a McDonald's High School All-American. We had him on ESPN with Tito Horford, and he's finding it a little bit tough adjusting to college basketball because he told me today, I never played against so many big people, and that's my biggest adjustment.
Roth also played for the South team down on the U.S. Sports Festival in Baton Rouge that we did. Nick's looking for some place, and he's walking with the ball. Second traveling violation against Dyron Nix, who's looked good, has scored 10 points. Gators lead by 2, 5:25 to go.
He lifted his pivot foot. Roth's going to be a very good collegian, an outstanding low post player once he gets acclimated to this level. He's big in that 1-3-1, playing the middle of that zone.
That's 6-11.
Watch inside.
55. That's a lot of space he takes up.
Also, by playing a zone, it takes away some of the defensive deficiencies of Tony White. Tony's got to work a little bit more on his defensive game.
White moved in and hacked it. Doesn't think he did, but that's his second foul. For Florida now, they've got both of the Lawrence brothers, Joe and Pat. Vernon Maxwell, of course, Andrew Moulton, of course, and the other man on the course is Kenny McCleary.
Doug Roth is blind in his right eye, Jim, and I could feel for him. I'm blind, as you know, in my left eye, and he has a difficult time with peripheral vision, especially in the man-to-man, where what we say all the time, you must have ball-you-man theory.
Tipped up by Roth. He gets the rebound.
But you learn to compensate for it, Jim, and make up in other areas. And he's got a great attitude, and I believe he's going to work hard and become a solid player.
Ball knocked away by Maxwell on the cross-court pass by Roth. And here's Maxwell back with the ball.
You know, if Maxwell and Moulton ever played with a front court like Dalrymple and Price play with Hammonds and Sally and Farrell, you'd really see the effectiveness. I don't want to take anything away from the Lawrences, but they're not in that kind of class like Hammonds and Sally, All-Americans.
There's Morgan in and out, and there's Griffin with the rebound.
That was Maxwell.
Maxwell. Someone called the front court of Florida the Mirage front court.
Well, I don't believe they're that. They just really are playing without a post player. McCleary's a tough physical banger. The Lawrences are good shooters. They're good complementary players.
Oh, look at this. He can put that in, and Roth does. Fine feed from the freshman Nix to the freshman Roth.
That's a nice freshman combo to have two young players like Nix and Roth. Very unselfish play by Nix, getting the ball to Roth for the easy layup.
High game again.
Tennessee's got to get a contribution out of Roth if they're going to be a good team.
Florida's led by 5, another time by 6, but it's tied now with 3:40 to go in the first half.
Jim, against the 1-3-1, usually you have the baseline jump shot because the baseline guy is running across that line. You should be able to slide down and get the good baseline jump shot.
McCleary with the ball. That's Maxwell trying to make something happen. Does not. Ball goes off the hands of Nix, but he recovers it.
I question Maxwell's shot selection at times, but that's going to happen with any offensive player. As we said earlier, he's dynamic in the open floor.
Now Tennessee's got a chance to go ahead for the first time in a long while. Tied at 26.
Don DeVoe really feels this game is pivotal in his season. He was telling me that, I don't know how many times down in the
bad pass there. And for the interception is Gordon Maxwell.
They got that cool approach, too. Maxwell's got that cool, you know, like, I'm super. I'm an All-American. You got a ways to go yet, Vernon. Don't get carried away.
He's only a sophomore.
He's going to be a dandy one, though.
6'4", 180. There's a shot by Lawrence. In and out. Pat's shot does not go.
They need that jump shot, Jim, out of Pat and Joe, and they're normally good shooters.
26 all, 2:23 to go, and White trying to get around his defender, gets the ball away. It'll be short. Roth
nice
puts it
play.
off the glass, no good there. Roth with his height gets it again, and now keeps it in play.
Two good aggressive plays by Doug Roth.
There's Nix. You know he's going to take the shot, and he's got it.
I like that jump hook. It reminds me a little bit of the one by Buck Johnson, who we'll see in a couple of weeks from out of Alabama.